made our childhoods. From innocent fast-paced games to classic TV appearances, you have truly earned your place as an iconic staple. But every icon has their fall. No, not that one. Not that one either. Oh, fuck you, I actually enjoyed that one. Oh yes, it's this one. Sonic the Hedgehog is no doubt an iconic video game character, so he needs no introduction. However, apart from video games, Sonic has also appeared in his own TV shows. Now, unlike Nintendo, whose characters have made some fairly odd TV appearances.
That's Mama Luigi to you, Mario!
Well, excuse me, Princess.
Only one mega problem, or I'll mega blast you. Having such a mega marvelous time.
Sonic's TV appearances have always been fairly good, ranging from your Looney Tunes style comedy to some more serious action with lighthearted messages. This hedgehog has been around the block. Before we get to the review, let's go ahead and talk about the show's history. It all started back in 1993 with the start of two competing Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons. One was a goofy comedy called The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, while the second one was a much more serious plot-driven series just called Sonic the Hedgehog. The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog lasted till 1997, while the much more serious series only lasted till 1995, which was a bit of a disappointment. After that, another series was made that was somewhat a sister sequel to the series Sonic cartoon, but it wasn't a sequel sister series that we wanted, or at least what I didn't want. This series was known as Sonic Underground. Now, I have a lot to say about this show, so let's not waste any time bullshitting around. Now, disclaimer. The opinions stated in this video are my own without influence from any party. I do not own the right of any of the materials owned in this video, and all rights belong to the respective properties. So, as you can see from the opening animation, this series is about Sonic the Hedgehog and his two siblings, who are out searching for their long-lost mother, who abandoned them years ago, because they see her foretold of doom in the future, which now Dr. Robotnik basically owns the future. Also, they play instruments as weapons, which makes this series a musical. Anyways, our story starts us off with the mother of Sonic giving us a narration of how the world turned to shit. Apparently, just after Sonic and his siblings were born, Dr. Robotnik just came in and fucked everything up. And how did he do this? It's never actually explained. Yeah, just watch this scene and you'll know what I mean.
Into a place of terror.
So, did he use some kind of gas that could destroy life and matter? If so, why weren't the people affected? Also, as it turns out, he was funded by the aristocrats, who are now celebrating as the world gets destroyed, while the poor get turned into robots for his army. Now, one thing I have to ask is, how does destroying the world work for the rich? I mean, wouldn't that just destroy the economy? I don't know, maybe all this is explained later in the series, but they don't give us any information besides that shit just happens for no reason, but just to happen. That leads me to my first problem with this show. It's storytelling. For a show with a complex story about prophecies and mysteries, it sure lacks the writing to back it up. The clip I just showed you is only a piece of the shit cake this show has to offer you. Here, enjoy another slice of this show's writing.
Excellent. Report.
Sensors indicate that the subject is blue, sir.
Blue? That's all?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there are plenty more where that came from. I know I may be dwelling on this a little bit much, but it's a Sonic show for fuck's sake, not Lord of the Rings. Anyways, the mother tells us that she had to give up her babies so the prophecy would come true. so she drops them all off at different places so they can be raised safely, with one of the children having been kidnapped. So the first of the children, Manic, grew up as a street thief. Of course he is the hip, cool, radical dude who loves wicked beats, man. We then see Sonia, who is the tough girl growing up in the high-class princess life. Although, all we get from her introduction is that she likes acrobats. Seriously, just watch the scene, you'll know what I mean.
Now may I go out and play?
Of course, my dear.
See that? No context, no actual introduction, just her backflipping away from the piano. What kind of a character do we get from that? And then we see Sonic growing up in some cottage in the middle of nowhere. He is the rebellious type that loves to go fast. And that's it. Although, if you had no prior knowledge to this series, then you couldn't really tell this shit from what's actually shown to us.
Sonic, bath time!
No bath! No bath!
Sonic Hedgehog, I thought I said no revving in the house.
Rev, yes. Bath, no.
Well, then I guess I'll just have to eat all those chili dogs by myself.
Rub and scrub time.
And I am not fucking joking you. Just immediately after that scene, we cut to another scene where Sonic is having a heartfelt goodbye from his adopted parents as they get killed by Robotnik. No lead up, no emotional attachment to these characters Sonic spent years growing up with. Here, just watch this scene for yourself.
Rub and scrub time.
Sonic, listen to me. Run as fast as you can to Uncle Chuck's. Don't stop and don't look back.
You want me to rev?
Sure do, pal. Let's see it.
We love you, son.
Go, Sonic! Go!
Oh, no!
You see that shit? We just get one scene with these characters, and then they go off and die. Oh, and just 5 seconds later, Sonic's uncle just happens to show up. Odd timing, but this show just likes to keep shit moving. And then, just 5 seconds later, we cut to Sonic and his uncle being super spies trying to take down Robotnik. Oh god, just watch this scene.
It's gonna be all right, Sonny boy. It'll take all your speed to get through that prototype shield Robotnik's putting up, Sonny.
No problemo, Uncle Chuck. Fast is my middle name.
Okay, you know what? I think I'm done for right now. It's just that this shit in the show just happens so goddamn fast. And I know we gotta keep the plot moving along, but we haven't even had time to see Sonic's adopted parents for more than one scene, which apparently were so important to his life that it needed a heartfelt goodbye death scene. Which leads me to another problem with this show. Its pacing. Things in this show move by too fast, which ironically fits the Sonic theme, but that's where this show fails. It wants to have a serious, dramatic plot. But with everything flying by at Mach speed, there is no time to get invested to the plot or these characters that apparently have such a big impact on the plot. This fast-paced storytelling works in a comedy like The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, but in a plot like they have set up here, it just doesn't work. It's like if the Lord of the Rings trilogy was only an hour long. Back to the plot. We have Sonic breaking into one of Robotnik's factories, blowing it up, and then returning home to take a nap, within the span of 30 seconds. But what I find really funny about this scene is that even Sonic is starting to get tired of how fast the plot is moving along.
The time has come, Sonic.
Yeah, whatever.
Sonic, your destiny awaits.
Yeah, tell it to wait outside. I'm too tired to care.
Well, After that scene, we cut to Dr. Robotnik trying to hire 2 new henchmen, one of which is voiced by everyone's favorite Futurama character, Keith, voiced by Maurice LaMarche, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, who has also done some amazing Warner Brother voices.
Enter bounty hunters.
Oh, sir, thank you for seeing us, sir. How may we serve your royal greatness? Your wish is our command, sir. You have only to ask, your amazingness.
So they meet Dr. Robotnik, who wants them to join his reign of terror, but they tell him that they are independent work for hires. Now, again, another problem here is that even if they aren't owned by anyone, they still work for the highest bidder, so why would working for Robotnik be any different? But, since they refuse to work for Robotnik, he just fires lasers at them, which makes them change their mind. So, let me just go ahead and say this. If the people you're looking to hire for your villain team can't be persuaded by the most minimum of effort, then obviously you're better off without them. But, looking back now, I think Robotnik skipped that lesson in school. So after joining Robotnik, he informs them of their enemy, which is too fast for even the cameras to see clearly. So Robotnik orders them to destroy it, even though they have no idea what it is, who it is, or if it's anything at all. All they can see is a blue flash on the screen that can take down Robotnik's entire army, and yet 2 fucking morons are sent to take care of this. Yeah, just real smart move, Robotnik. But, like a flash, we immediately cut back to Sonic because this show has just some amazing fucking pacing. And the seer tells Sonic that the only way to find his brother and sister is to sing the song in his heart. Then he just vanishes. Yeah, that's not an overused trope or anything. And yes, by the intro, you can just tell that this is a musical, so it is inevitable. And how fast the show flies by, we are going to be there in no time. But we cut back to Sonic and...
What does that mean? Whoa, a medallion. Huh?
Oh, God. Just snuck up like a lion stalking its prey. So, yeah, musical shows aren't known for being that, good. But there have been some passes like SpongeBob or Phineas and Ferb. But most of the time, it's just a bad idea in general. But what makes this show a whole new kind of terrible is the voices singing the songs.
What was that?
What was that?
They're out there.
Hush, Bartleby. I know there's a club around here somewhere.
I've heard that riff before.
We must find Lady Windermere.
And Farrell, you're right. Let's do it to it.
You see, those are not voices that were meant to sing. I mean, I would get it if it was like a parody of musicals and that the bad singing was used more for comedic measures, but the songs just suck. And not in that they're so bad that they're good. No, they are just some middle ground, no exception suckage. I don't know how much longer I can do this. My voice has strained itself so much since the start of this review. I have to take little mini breaks in between each line of dialogue. This show has awful pacing. It has scenes that show little to nothing but expect them to have a big impact on the show, and everything just flies by so fast. It's not funny. It's not serious. I just want to get this review over with. And so, after the song, we cut back to Robotnik's minions trying to see what exactly attacked Robotnik's labs. And just watch this.
Point of contact. Extract image and enlarge. Aha! It's not a machine.
Hedgehog? It's a blasted hedgehog!
So yeah, as it turns out, every hedgehog in the world has the same pair of gloves and the same Air Jordans, not to mention all of them are blue as well. But, being serious, if they had a picture of this extremely unordinary blue hedgehog, then how couldn't Robotnik figure this the fuck out himself? Oh, if I just talked about this show's plot holes, this review would go on for hours. And may I remind you viewers that this is just the very first episode of the series. But, with that aside, Robotnik dismisses his minions as he believes that this blue hedgehog could be part of the prophecy.
Robotnik, your days of tyranny are numbered. One day, Queen Alina and her 3 children will form the Council of 4. On that day, your reign of tyranny will end.
I had some stuff to complain about that, but honestly, at this point, just fuck it. Anyways, we cut to Sonic out in the city playing his guitar for reasons unexplained. I thought Sonic liked to go fast, not play sweet riffs. Anyway, Sonya and Manic just so happen to be nearby and hear Sonic's guitar, which no one else seems to be able to hear. Seems like a lot of oddly convenient plot force bullshit going on, but let's move on.
Mind if I sit in, dude?
You guys are great!
So yeah, they just show up and decide to join in. No introduction, no questions, no reasons on why only they could hear the music. You know, I'm actually starting to think that the writing in this show isn't the best after all. And so, with no warning, the place gets raided by robots, which Sonic and the gang manage to escape. Then we cut to Robotnik, who discovers that all 3 of the children just so happen to be that of the prophecy, and so he sends out his armies to capture them, only to have captured literally each one of their families instead. So, wow, actually that's kind of sad. That's quite something to take in. I wonder how long they will...
I'm sorry, young hedgehogs. I'm afraid you are too late.
Feral. No!
What the fuck? You know what? Fuck it. We are on the home stretch. So the seer says that it's too late for Sonic and the gang, and now they must embark on a quest to learn to use the powers they have so that they may one day defeat Robotnik. And so they embark on their quest. Having lost their families, they have no place to call home. They have just been told that the fate of the world rests on their shoulders, and all these tragic and timely events get symbolized in these last final words.
I'm all alone now.
Not a chance, sis.
And that was Sonic Underground. Oh, and God, I have never been so emotionally drained. The pacing is just awful. Like I said, it expects to have some big, massive plot, but it gives no time to take any of it in. The writing for the dialogue is just god-awful, and is almost on par with the writing of the Zelda CDI games.
You've killed me!
Good.
And it's not just the first episode. Every episode after this has the same exact problems. But I will say that this show at least has some positives. The music in the show can actually be good from time to time, but no, I do not mean the songs that they actually sing. I mean the background music and such. The songs are still garbage. The animation for the show is decent in some areas. I wouldn't go as far to call it amazing, but it, to a point, is well done, and is definitely a positive for the show. As far as a recommendation, I will not recommend this show in any aspect. I may suggest that you watch an episode or two just to get a glimpse of how terrible the show is, but watching it as a full series will just drain you. This show isn't even so bad it's good, it's just bad. The funny thing is, Sonic does have a long line of bad games, such as Sonic 06 and Sonic Boom, but those games still had a charm to them, a charm that keeps us playing them after years and years of their release. That charm was just in the fun, the pure unintended comedy the games gave us. But Sonic Underground isn't even unintentionally funny, it's just bland awful. For how fast these episodes move along, it feels like they drag on forever. The plot itself is beyond cliched, and anytime there's supposed to be a plot twist or any new development, the show makes it so damn easy to call or just makes it so easy to foretell what is about to happen. I will recommend most of the Sonic TV shows, hell, even Sonic Boom. But by God, I will forever despise Sonic Underground. Thank you for watching.